I can never find a good place to put my phone. So anyways, following up from earlier, I like to say that I don't want to give the impression that I don't, because what I'm doing with this here is I don't seem to be able to convey my symptoms to my doctors well, and that's probably for a variety of reasons. And then the other issues I'm having are like access issues. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know why I keep continually justifying it when I do it more than once a day. So I don't want to downplay that this is the way I feel most comfortable at all times. So that is why it's hard to get anything done. So good days, bad days, regardless, I need to be reclined a lot. This is a very good day, but if I recline, it does somewhat alleviate the ongoing, it's a tinnitus, I suppose we could say, but it's more of a whooshing sound. I just think my heart rate starts to climb or something. I just don't feel well. My head feels heavy. I can't think, and I really feel like I need to lay down, but I probably don't lay down enough because that's when the movements come on. So instead I'm sitting reclined a lot, and that limits my ability to like make it to anything involving like a commitment with other people, you know? Makes sense, right? So a few weeks ago, I was having this episode that was going on for about a month. Like, it went on for about a month, this recent one, and I'm calling it an episode because I don't know what the heck else to call it because it's not an MS flare. I mean, maybe some people would say it is, but I really don't think so. So I just started having this ongoing awful head pressure issue. And it's like I still always have it kind of low grade in the background, and I don't know really when it started becoming a problem being in the background. And same kind of goes for the lower leg weakness, or a foot drop I think I have on one side that comes and goes, which is bizarre because I know foot drop can come and go, but mine comes and goes to an extreme extent, so I can't really present it when I go to an appointment very easily, which I think is why no one's really picked up on it. But I also haven't been to the doctor in over a year. So, like, not the traditional doctor, I should say, not any of the traditional doctors. Oh, I have been to the MS clinic within that span, but it was pointless. And this is what I'm getting at. I do go to the recommended things, but it doesn't tend to go well. If I do get anything out of it, it's not usually that helpful, and many times it's kind of a traumatic experience. But lately what's been happening is I can't even get out the door anyway. I'm having trouble just maintaining upright posture, and so going places is really hard because I don't have a way to travel where I can stay like reclined. So when I do go out, I have to rest after. Anyway, and I don't think, although I fit the diagnostic criteria for MS, I feel that it's a diagnosis of exclusion, and I don't feel that enough has been excluded, and I feel like I've fallen into a trap where the only thing I can relate it to, even though it's a completely different thing, before my EDS diagnosis, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia by a rheumatologist. And then I found that very dismissive because they just prescribe you something like a Celebrex or something. Nothing that does anything. And then they don't pursue anything. And that's because fibromyalgia, you could call it like also a very, very much a diagnosis of exclusion, or even a wastebasket diagnosis, where they just throw people in it when they don't know where else to put them. And so that's frustrating, even though I think it's a very real illness. I don't think I really have it. I mean, I would have it, I guess, if you consider that there's the secondary kind, but because people don't understand Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, they keep thinking I have primary fibromyalgia. And because people don't understand Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I keep wondering if my MS is secondary to it, somehow. Not to say you can't have the two things together, just to say that I've had brain surgery and I've had a lot of things where they could have ruled some stuff out, but because I didn't go back to my surgeon, because I would have had to pay and go out of country, I just got looped into the mainstream system in Ontario, where I went to the MS clinic. And what that ended up doing is, with me, I just couldn't get my point across like usual with a lot of doctors. And yeah, it's like they treat a lot of my symptoms as like psychosis or something because they don't understand it. It's very frustrating. So I spent my time with them sort of trying to just convince them that that's not the case, and that was kind of just a waste of my energy. And they put me on this medication that's supposed to be really, actually relatively benign, but I had side effects, and it wasn't enough for me to want to keep doing it after 18 months. So, and I don't even want to go there now because I know all they're going to do is be very persuasive about medication, because there's no way I was very adamant that I wasn't going to take anything for it when I went in there, and they convinced me to. So I don't want to even, I just feel like it's bad for my mental health to go there. So anyway, I've got a bunch of things I need to do, and they're all out of pocket, which is a nightmare. And I have to be strategic, really strategic. So if anyone's wondering, I was looking into a counselor who specializes in like chronic medical PTSD, and I might find one I could talk to over the phone. It's just like one thing at a time. And yeah, so although it's a good day, it's not that good. Like compared to how it was a year ago, this is not good. But this is not like some people in my life, they're like, well, you stopped the MS meds, so maybe that's why you're having all of these symptoms. And it's like, so yeah, migraines can be associated with MS, I suppose, and many people with MS get them, and many people with MS have a lot of things. But what I have primarily is Ehlers-Danlos, so it's just like an infinitely frustrating loop where you have to just be your own researcher, your own advocate. I'm not a doctor. They often think I'm just like Munchausen, hypochondria, whatever. And every new doctor, I have to work through a layer of that. I have to work through, well, some of them are great, but that's like finding a needle in a haystack. It really is. And I haven't found that in a while, and a bunch of the ones I had before that I was holding on to have gone now, because that's what happens. They don't, if they're good doctors, they don't usually stay in the OHIP system. Just telling it like it is. Some of them might, but it's a really rough system, and you have to play by the books, and you're not allowed to be the voice of dissent ever, or you can be blacklisted or blackballed, I guess, the way I feel as a patient. I think the same thing can happen to a doctor. Well, they can get their license revoked, right? So much. I don't know, as just being in this position, but trying to work with the system with all of this going on. Like, I could have a friend with a simple health problem, and they could easily, or I shouldn't say simple, but a new health problem when they don't have as many as I do, and then they could get tests. But for me, it's harder to get tests for various reasons, and that's enough about that. Maybe, I don't know. So trying to not be like too hard on myself about how I can't do too much, and when I strain, it's when I have the migraines, and I'm labeling them as migraines, but I don't know what they really are. Anyway, thank you.